Matt, how's your first field test going?
It's great, man. Day 5 of pounding out laps.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike Levy and we're here up at the beautiful Sun Peaks Resort in the interior of BC for the 2021 summer field test. This time around we have 5 of the latest enduro bikes to review, and for the first time at a field test we have an e-bike category with 4 of the newest heavy-hitting battery-powered bikes to review. But that's not all that's changed. Former Canadian national downhill champ Matt Beer has joined the team. I think he's kind of fast. As well as former World Cup mechanic Henry Quinney, who runs his brakes the wrong way around, but we're gonna fix them. These guys have ridden the piss out of our 9 test bikes for the last 2 weeks up here in Sun Peaks, and I'm gonna grill them on their impressions in the upcoming review videos. But I think I know why you're here. Let's go look at our bikes. Let's start with the enduro bikes and Norco's all-new Range. Now we've seen this bike in prototype form for the last 4 years, but here it is finally in real life. It has 170 millimeters of travel, a whole lot of carbon fiber, and it uses the current hottest suspension design, a high pivot with an idler. One more interesting fact, Norco's downhill team actually uses this very frame, just with a different shock and linkage. So something tells me this is not going to be a slow bike. And speaking of high pivot and idlers, GT's new Force is the latest bike to join that cool club. And with comparable geometry and a similar but different suspension layout to the Norco, I'll definitely be putting Matt and Henry on the spot on the GT versus Range comparisons. But let's go look at Transition's new 170 millimeter travel Spire. This is the longest, lowest enduro bike of the bunch, but is this thing just a plum colored plow, or is it way more versatile than the numbers suggest? All right, our next bike we're gonna take a look at is this new YT Capra. They're calling this color Nox Blue, by the way. Now the Capra has been a direct-to-consumer favorite for many years now, and YT says that this latest version gets a stiffer frame, updated geometry, and you could pick between either a mullet setup or 29-inch on both ends, ours being the latter. All right, come with me because I saved the most exotic for last. This is WeAre1's brand new arrival. Now WeAre1 has been making their own carbon rims just down the road in Kamloops, BC for many years now. And this frame is made in the same factory. It has 150 millimeters of rear wheel travel, 160 millimeter fork up front. Can we just take a minute to look at how beautiful this thing is? Stay tuned for the review. We're excited about this one. That's it for the mountain bikes, but we've also got 4 long travel e-bikes on test, the biggest of which is Norco's brand new Range VLT. This thing has 170 millimeters of rear wheel travel, uses a Shimano EP8 motor, and has 462 millimeter long chainstays. It also weighs over 56 pounds, so we'll find out if all that heft is worth it on the trail. At the other end of the spectrum, we have Specialized's new Turbo Canevo SL, which is basically a regular enduro with a lightweight motor and a 320 watt-hour battery. Now Specialized also has a range extender battery that you could put in the water bottle location, and they say you could be out there for up to 7 hours. So the question is, do you guys want to be hydrated or do you want more battery life? Anyways, it'll be interesting to see how this lightweight e-bike compares to the full-size machines we have on test. And speaking of lightweight, let's look at a bike that definitely isn't. This is Commencel's new Meta Power 29. It's a direct-to-consumer 160 millimeter travel e-bike that we're going to be comparing to the Norco and the rest of them. And finally, we have this brand new e-bike that I can't quite tell you about yet because of a pesky embargo. What I will say is it is a brand's first e-bike and it uses a new to them suspension design. So those are all of our bikes, and that means that it's time to talk about how we tested them. The Sun Peaks Bike Park is full of rough, fast, natural trails, but it also has plenty of big jump lines to see how the bikes do in the air. Now Matt and Henry have done about 10,000 laps since we got here and are currently icing their lobster claws. But we did more than just ride these bikes. They all wore the same matching control tires front and back. That's a Maxxis DHR2 up front and a Dissector in the rear, and it's not field testing if we're not doing timed runs. Now, how a bike feels on the trail is always going to be subjective, But the clock, well, it never confuses feelings with facts. Matt Beer has done a ton of timed runs, so we have a ton to talk about there as well. One thing we're not going to talk about though are climbing times, because these are enduro bikes and something tells me that the majority of you don't care. I thought I was going to get out of doing the efficiency test this time around, but not so much. Boss man Brian says I have to do it, and something tells me it's because I keep calling you guys pinkers in the podcast. And speaking of climbing, we've also got the impossible climb. Now I still have PTSD from doing it all those other years, so this time around, Matt Beer is the guy who's going to be falling over on camera for you. But while I won't be crashing on the impossible climb for you guys, I did do the e-bike battery range test. That added up to something like 18,000 feet of climbing over 7 hours, and motor or not, that was really freaking tiring. And because you guys know that we saved the best for last, the Huck to Flat is back as well. Jason Lucas is going to be doing a whole bunch of cringe-worthy suspension smashing, so stay tuned for that. Like the other field tests, there's a crew behind the camera working way harder than Matt and Henry and I are. And just like that, welcome to the 2021 Summer Field Test, this time supported by Dane Easy. The video reviews are going to start rolling out any day, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss Henry, Matt, and myself arguing about all these bikes. That's it for the field test. I think I'm going to grab a bike and I think I'm going to go do a run.
Does it have, what's the actual script say? On travel, check. Has it got a, oi Michael, can I get a click off this bad boy?
Why is he named Michael?
I also feel like I'm yelling, but...
No. Just take a look, appreciate it, look at this thing. Okay, all right. Okay.